Hey, what's up guys? My name is Faisal and this is not MTV Cribs. So, you guys ready to go upstairs? Let's go. Welcome to where the magic doesn't happen.
Here we are. As you can see, a wall of, I counted them actually, 13 times 13. Probably the biggest dunk collection I've seen personally. So we could be here for like 10 hours, man. But this segment is about top 5. Now, Faisal, I know this is a tough decision unless it was already planned in your head, like when I asked you about the Yeezys. Top 5, man, dunks.
So I'm gonna start all the way at the top because these are actually what got me into SB dunks in the first place. Concepts, Nike SB Yellow Lobster.
What's so special about these?
I didn't know Concepts, I didn't know anything about these shoes. It was just literally love at first sight. Just the aesthetic of the way the shoe looked. I read online that they were based on actual lobsters. I personally love to eat lobster. And just the way Concepts put this together was flawless. With the other colorways, these were actually gifted to Concepts by Nike. So this was Nike's idea, I guess. But the way it came out was just incredible, and it stands so far above the other two colorways in my opinion. Look at the result. One pair of shoes garnered this result.
Amazing. I just noticed the inside have the tablecloth, I guess.
Yep.
I have a connection to Boston too. Okay. I used to go every summer. My grandmother was actually teaching at Harvard, so Cambridge is very familiar to me. Legal seafood. Legal seafood. Legal seafood. Yep. Legal seafood. So yeah, when I see this, it does speak Boston because of the lobsters there. So nice. Number 2.
Number 2. All right. Number 2 would have to be, I'm just looking for them right now. Yeah, there they are. 420 Nike SB Bonsai Hemp. So these shoes are completely made of hemp all over, obviously not the sole, but these were released on 420. It came in 2 other colorways, which were maroon and light blue. Those aren't the official names, so please don't quote me on that. The simplicity of this shoe, how it looks, I can go from most complicated shoe to the most simple, like the simplest shoe ever made, and that big contrast is where I get lost. But it's very, very easy for me to fall in love with a simple shoe that looks like this. And then the backstory behind it is just, you know, it's hilarious. Just being from where we're from. It's one of the first SBs I actually managed to see in real life. And my boy, SB Addicts, actually hooked me up with this pair. So this used to be his, thank you.
I see you've worn them quite a bit.
Hell yeah. No, nothing here is brand new. Everything, no matter how expensive, rare, whatever, has been on my feet.
Which I love. Yeah. You gotta wear your kicks, man.
Of course.
All right, number 3.
Number 3. Again, a 420 themed shoe, Cheech and Chong's. 2 shoes that are different. This is red corduroy and this is red paisley, but all made up of canvas. And if you tear the front part over here, it reveals a green underlayer, but that's up to you. So number 4 would have to be one of the first Nike SB collaborations. Also came in 3 colorways. This was the only one I could ever find in my size. Somebody let them go for a pretty cheap price on GOAT, but still, man, it looks amazing. So all these years later.
Recently, someone asked you, said, what is the difference between an SB and a dunk?
To my knowledge, just based on any research I've done, the insole comes with a little air bubble unit, a zoom bubble unit, which you can't really find in any regular dunks for a little bit added comfort. A lot of SBs, not all of them, have thicker padding around the ankle and the tongue for more comfort as well. And that's really all that I know about the differences. There could be more that I'm not aware of, but it's a pretty big difference in terms of comfort.
Definitely.
Yeah. The biggest difference is if you see the contrasting colorways. Like Nike SBs just tend to be a little crazier than regular dunks.
Yeah, true.
So yeah,
great choice.
Number 5. Pac-Mans. Suede, super buttery, love the colorway. nostalgic to when I was a kid. I think a lot of us played like Pac-Man as the first game that we ever played when we were kids. This also comes in 3 different colorways, but the Miss Pac-Man colorway is a low top, and I believe the 3rd colorway is a Nike Blazer. But these were a must cop. Like just the way the colors complement one another, the nostalgia, how clean the shoe overall is. I had to have it.
Beautiful shoe.
Yep.
So there you have it. Top 5 dunks. I don't know if you noticed this about my collection. The only dunks I own, I never got into dunks because I was such a Jordan guy.
Yeah.
Are the ambush dunks, which a lot of people don't really consider them dunks. I don't know if you agree with that.
They're dunks.
I love them because the campaign was all about basketball, but after, honestly speaking, I might just get into dunks, man, because of you.
It's a deep dive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
If people can call off-white Jordans Jordans, we can call ambush dunks dunks.
Okay. So there you have it, the dunks. Moving on. I see more dunks here, but I'm very curious to know your Air Max preferences.
Well, I'm not a huge Air Max guy, but I have been, like, I do love classic colorways more than anything in any shoe. So you can see that I have like the monotone, like 90s, OG reds, but favorites, I'm gonna have to be a little bit biased here. This has nothing to do with actually concepts, but just the overall design and me knowing about the process of how it was made. It's gotta be the Concepts Air Max 1. All 3 colorways right there at the top 3. Because I've honestly never seen an Air Max that did so much for me like these 3 pairs do. They might seem very similar, but they're so different at the same time. And you know, Concepts always hits it out of the park with releases and packaging and all. This pair actually came in this special box. So comes with a bunch of different accessories in it. I won't divulge into that, but you can buy a pair yourself.
Which one would you rate at the top out of these colorways?
I put this one at the top because I love the color purple.
I love the pink too.
Yeah, I love the color purple, and it goes so well with green and the pink and the light denim. But then something a little bit more classic, you know, KAWS Air Max 90s in white. I just love this shoe because it was, again, there's subtle differences, but sometimes subtlety makes the biggest difference, and just this mesh right here along the side and the toe box. And I actually I bought them with the sole already kind of yellowed. So that that was a pleasant surprise.
I must confess, the first time I've ever seen these were yesterday.
Oh, okay.
When you showed them to me, I said, are these KAWS? So yeah, when did these come out?
Oh, like mid 2000s, I think. I'm not even, I don't know.
Crazy.
Like I'm not an Air Max guy, so I don't, like the information on Air Maxes is not as prevalent as like dunks.
Would you say your favorite Air Max would be the 90s?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. All right. Because like I said, OG colorways do so much more for me than regular other colorways do. So just see this infrared, such an iconic shoe. You know, and then they recreated it in so many different variations that I just had to have one of each.
So number 5.
Last but not least, we go back to KAWS again. But see, Air Max 90 tooled differently, different toe box, different side, little polka dots make the biggest difference.
Polka dots?
Yeah, look, like on the material. And then the laces and the subtle like double X right there. Yeah.
Talked about the dunks, talked about the Air Maxes. Moving on. My territory, the Jordans. Now, I know you're gonna pick your top 5.
Yeah.
Once you pick those top 5s, I'm gonna dive in to pairs that I would love to hear more about. So, number 1 on your list.
So, has to be these right here. The 2001 version of the black and red ones. Not only is the color, like the shade of red, very different from any other release, I think it's the most accurate. It also comes with a special number that I had no knowledge of until I made the purchase. So I believe this pair is the last on the production line. And I've only worn them once because of it.
Amazing.
So, number 2, a lot of people may call these their number 1s, but again, simplicity does the trick. You know, it's Hiroshi did his thing.
Tiny little
logo, made the biggest difference, but I love the simplicity of this shoe. I love Hiroshi Fujiwara. Everything he does is very, very creative and within that simple type of aesthetic. Number 3 would have to be the homie Just Don C. He made 2 pairs of Jordan 1s with a strap for Black History Month back to back. These both came with a hat as well with matching snakeskin.
I remember that, yeah.
All proceeds for the auctions went to Black History Month.
Really?
I'm not sure how or which foundation it was specifically, but it did go to a foundation of his choosing. But yeah, these are super clean, white suede all over, so try to wear them in clean, very, very clean scenarios.
Again, the first time I ever see these shoes.
And then in terms of, we're gonna move on from the 1s. A very, very classic black cements. I've been wearing this, like not this particular shoe, but this particular colorway since I was a kid. It's one of the oldest colorways that I remember wearing as a kid, so it's always gonna be in any rotation I have.
Beautiful shoe.
Number 5 was the first sample I ever managed to get my hand on.
Very happy you picked that.
Yeah. Being Saudi, you know, green, the color green does something to me.
Right.
And this particular shade of green really stands out because I don't think there's any other shoe that I've ever seen with a metallic green, you know, back tab like that. Such a nice shoe. Again, simple but effective. Oregon, Tinker Hatfield, you know, with all the background history that goes into the shoe. It wasn't that hard to find, surprisingly.
Really? Because that's actually my next question. How did you find these?
Instagram, bro. Like you just put stuff out there and eventually it will reach the right person. But you need to make sure that people know that you're for real and you're not just trying to haggle anyone. I made sure to get in contact with people that knew I was down to buy this shoe for the prices they were asking for. I had it at the time, so it wasn't gonna be any type of negotiation. And once those people get to know you a little, they start calling you whenever they have something. So that's really how I built most of these relationships. So yeah, top 5 in my Jordan collection.
The Yeezys. One word. Whoa. Okay, so here you see the Kanye LV collab. Then you see the Air Yeezy 1 Nike collab. Then you have the Air Yeezy 2 Nike collab featuring the Red October. And then my personal grail, the Babesta. Top 5. Let's go.
Top 5. Okay. So right here, number 5, the one that started it all for Mr. West at Louis Vuitton. The one that started my Kanye West collection personally. Thankful to have been able to buy these at retail from a Louis Vuitton in Switzerland. All red, never did anything wrong for me, so it was a no-brainer.
Yes, remember that photo of him and Marc Jacobs?
Yep, exactly. This is the shoe that spread everything, you know, the wildfire. And the only reason it's in the bottom part is because it is a designer shoe, and I personally put them below, not quality-wise, but in terms of my own personal attraction to them. So, number 4, beautiful, beautiful shoe. The Kanye West Louis Vuitton Jasper, named after one of his closest friends, Ivan Jasper. One of 2 or 3, I believe, that come with like the tassels. So this was very difficult to take off and to actually clean the shoe if you want to. Straps upon straps for extra. I
have a story and you have a story. Once upon a time, Sloane Street, London, 2010, 2009, around that time. Yeah. I walk in and these were sitting on the shelf. Now, these do run big. So I thought, let me see if they have my size. He brought it in, too big for me. I said, let me go a size smaller. Tried them on, and I just thought the pink was too pink.
Yeah.
And I passed. I walked out. One of the biggest sneaker regrets of my life, maybe regrets of my life in general. Beautiful shoe. I'm still looking for a pair, but that has priority now. I know you have an interesting story that involves your mom.
Yeah.
So please.
So I couldn't find them. You know, being a 15-year-old kid, you don't have as many resources as you do when you're an adult. So turned to my parents. My mom just happened to be going to the US. And I saw these in Flight Club at their original location, which is on Green Street, I believe. And so back then, it was a little more dangerous in that area. Not too many people were going there to shop. My mother actually made her way down to Flight Club, bought these shoes, walked out and proceeded to call me and rip me a new one for sending her somewhere she didn't want to be.
Yeah, it was a rough
But,
neighborhood,
you know, she toughed it out. She picked up the shoes, brought them back, and they've been with me ever since.
Nice.
All credit to Mom. And now we move on to Nike.
Number 3.
One of the sneakers that broke the internet a couple of years back. Sneakers that made Kanye leave leave Nike, sorry. The Red October, Nike Air Yeezy 2. Everybody knows about these shoes. Like, not many people, even non-sneakerheads, you know, don't know about this shoe. So it's pretty self-explanatory. But this particular pair did not come in a box. It didn't come in any sort of dust bag. It didn't come from a shop or a Twitter link. These were actually smuggled outside of China. So if you are to believe the stories that came out at the time of these being released, there were, I believe, 22 pairs stolen from a factory by employees and smuggled out of China. These were in my hand, I think, a few days before the Twitter link dropped.
Wow.
So I'd already had these shoes when Kanye surprise dropped the Red Octobers.
Just recently, my niece, who's 9, walked into my sneaker room. She's 9, and she saw these, and she says, Amo, you have the Red Octobers?
There you go.
So
they're still making waves.
I guess they're all over TikTok. I'm not sure. I'm not on TikTok. But like you said, non-sneakerheads, including 9-year-olds who don't even know what a sneaker is, know about this shoe. So amazing.
Thank you. And last but most certainly not least, like you said, it's a grail for you. It was for me, and I believe it's a grail for many other people. The Kanye West college dropout Bapestas. And this pair is actually very, very special to me because Kanye signed them. My boy Sammy, S Universal on Instagram, shout out to Sammy, set up a backstage meet and greet at TD Garden in Boston where I managed to get this shoe signed. And probably in one of my favorite pictures I've ever been in, you know, Kanye actually smiled signing these shoes.
That's true.
So,
may I?
It was we made the impossible happen.
Unbelievable shoe, unbelievable story. With the signature, College Dropout, one of my favorite albums.
Me too.
Great condition. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. This should be in a museum at some point.
They will soon. Thank you.
So there you have it. Just a fraction of the Yeezys, but these are super special coming from a Kanye fan as well. The Nike story, the LV story, and of course, the Bapestas story. We talked about the Dunks, the Air Maxes, the Jordans, the Yeezys. Now, your custom collection stands out just as much as your other selections of sneakers because what I see here is a customized bread, which is my personal favorite shoe. I'm not even sure what to call these. I'll let you explain.
Okay.
Obviously the Air Yeezy 2, I've seen this on your page. Insane, can't wait to hear about these. The Air Yeezy 2 again, and the Air Yeezy 2 one more time. So, these are your top 5. Tell me why, bro.
So at some point, I won't divulge any details on how, but I had a bunch of Yeezy 2s. So One I gave to a friend, and the rest I just wasn't comfortable keeping doubles with, so I decided to make customs. Because I like to clean my shoes, you know, it's the process of maintaining the history of it. So it doesn't make sense to me to keep two. My first ever major custom was these right here. And at the time, Givenchy was very prominent and in and out of Kanye's wardrobe. So it felt right to add one of their motifs to one of his shoes.
You have a nickname for these? What is it?
I didn't nickname them, but some creative people in my comments section dubbed these the Givenchy's. Yeah. I wasn't so hyped about it because it included the word cheesy, you know, but it's creative, it's catchy. So number 2, if any deep diving sneakerhead will remember, there's a sample pair made for Kobe Bryant, RIP. I think there were 6 pairs, if I'm not mistaken, made for Kobe, and I just decided then and there that I knew I wasn't gonna get that pair. Who knows, maybe I will one day, but I didn't want to go through the hassle, so I had already had an extra pair of gray, the Zen gray version of these. A platinum version of these, sorry. So I sent them over to Mosh Customs, who also did these as well. He painted the shoe to look exactly like the sample pair with a few minor differences just so that the shoe wouldn't get damaged. These red laces were his idea. He kept the inner liner orange, which I believe makes the shoe look a little bit better. Very nice. And it's unique, so it doesn't look exactly like the sample pair. And then number 3, this is a company called Lasco, which I believe they work with premium leathers and they do make different shoes, but this was their second attempt at a Yeezy 2. Their first one was made of veg tan, which I missed out on. So my friend Perry, shout out the Lace Legend, hooked me up with a pair of these because he'd picked up the first pair and was eligible to buy these. So
nice, it was that kind of system.
Yeah, so he was eligible to buy this pair and he picked up a second pair for me. And that's how I got these.
Nice. You mentioned that sole was
It was an Air Tech 3, I believe. Right here, what you didn't know what these were called. These, for my 90s kids, are the Too Faced JBF Customs Jordan 1s. So if you were a fan of Batman the Animated Series, you instantly see the colorway, black, white, a little bit of purple to represent the face. This is to represent Two-Face from Batman the Animated Series.
There you go, Two-Face.
Yep. And then, most of our favorites. It's also my favorite shoe of all time. Bread. I know a lot of you won't like the word bread, but we don't care. So, Bread Jordan 1s made by JBF Customs as well. You'll see his signature incomparable on the tongue with the double plus sign right there. This is actually how I found out about JBF Customs, because he had a pair of Royal Blues, I believe, before this. He'd only made 5 and I missed out on it. So I said I wouldn't miss out on the next drop, and he made these, which were also followed up by Shadows. So I have the Shadows as well, but these stand out at the top for me. Beautifully done.
Very nice.
This pair is very old and it's stood the test of time. That just shows like his skill. He's really into his craft. Personally, my favorite customizer for putting together sneakers in the world. No one better. Mosh, right up there with him. Best sneaker painter and customizer that I've ever seen in my life. 2 guys that have worked together, and for projects for me, amazing guys. No one better than they are, and this proves it. It shows.
May I?
Go ahead.
Wow, amazing. How old are these?
I think they're about like 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I bought them in the middle of my college career.
There you have it. Customs, from the classics to the Yeezys. Very unique stories, beautiful colorways. Just when you thought it was done, nope, doesn't end there. I have never seen anything like this. Very unique story to one of the most sought after unique shoes in sneaker history. Faisal, please explain.
So once again, Mosh Customs. My cousin, who's like my brother, shout out Sultan, went on a Gumball 3000 rally tour, which is it's a car rally where he built a Batman tumbler from the Dark Knight movies. I was meant to go on one of these rallies with him, so I decided to paint my Air Mags to match his car. Unfortunately, I didn't end up going on to that race, so I did send him the shoes. He wore them, displayed them with pride, gave them back to me in pretty rough condition, but again, Mosh Customs brought them back to perfection. So yeah, this is the Dark Knight Air Max.
Legendary.
And they still light up, I think. I charged them recently, but not recently enough. Oops.
So we had the shoe room, and now we are in the closet. I would say with just as much heat as outside. Yeezy season. People know about the Air Yeezys, obviously his Adidas collab, his LV collab, but the Yeezy collection itself. I have yet to see such an elaborate and crazy Yeezy season collection. Now, tell me about this.
So while Kanye was making Adidas sneakers, he was also making sneakers in Italy. So we all know he had a Yeezy season 1, season 2, 3, all the way up till 7, I believe, fashion shows.
Right.
And these were the shoes or the collection of footwear that used to drop with the clothes outside of Adidas's purview. But at some point, Adidas started making these types of products for him. So I think he just stopped making them with premium materials and in Italy because it's more cost effective. But I managed to track down every single pair that had ever released in any of the season collections, and over time completed the set.
Amazing. You mentioned these are the Yeezy season 1 versions, but eventually Adidas did their version.
Much better quality,
of course,
superior in all forms.
The famous slides.
Yes. So these were made famous by obviously Kanye wearing a pair that was a little bit too small. I had already had that pair by then when the picture came out. Yeah, he wore it after like a few of them had already dropped.
Okay.
So this is them. The second version of them comes in a nice little fleece material, so better for the beach, drying off your feet. And then the military boots, which come in, I think, 7 different colors, more or less look the same. Kanye wears these the most, I believe, in his day-to-day. Not many people know about this deep red, like maroonish color, because I believe it was only sold at like European websites. And then the ones that I personally wear the most, the Chelsea boot, which is just great for any formal occasion. You know, I don't really like to lace up formal shoes, so these came in really handy. They also come in like 7 or 8 different colors.
And here?
Over here, it's not complete, but as many Yeezy 350s and 500s and 750s that I could possibly find. All the 700s in their multiple version and 750s down there. We have all the non-numbered and slide versions of the Yeezys. So you can see the power phases, the slides. You have a few of the quantums and the foam runners. Like I said, these are not complete sets, but they're as many as I was able to find.
What are your thoughts on the foam runners?
They function. They function in specific areas. So like, I'm not one of the people that will wear them regularly on a day-to-day thing. I'll wear them at the beach or in a hot location when I want my feet to breathe.
Right.
But otherwise, they're pretty cool, in my opinion.
In your top 5 for most comfortable shoes ever?
No.
No? No. Really?
As much as they help you breathe, they also make your feet sweat. So.
Good point. Very unique shoe.
Yeah. And then we move to the other side. Right here is where we keep the 350 collection. So you start off with the original 4 colorways plus the cleat that was made for football players.
What?
Yeah.
Didn't know you had these.
These released.
Crazy.
Very uncomfortable shoe. Never wear them, even if you're playing football. As many 350 colorways as I could find, and then the 500s and 450s in all their versions over here. Again, not complete, but as many as I could find.
I actually really like this shoe.
It's the most unique color out of
really like
the original colorways. Yeah. I mean, anything weird like this, I have to assume you know, Adidas went over Kanye's head.
Yep.
Because we know he didn't make every decision. And that is my Yeezy collection.
Beautiful. Oh, forgot about those.
Oh, yep.
Remember the Fat Joe photo?
I bought these. Never in my life will I ever put them on in any situation. They're just a bit too much for me.
Velcro.
Yeah, but you know, as a Kanye collector, you have to at least try and wear these. But yeah, collection purposes only.
I can relate.
And then you have the Adidas version of the Desert Brute, as well as the original 4 Adidas 950 boots in black, brown, taupe, and haze, I believe it is. Wore these a lot in New York City. So, and that's it.
We saw the Yeezy collection, very, very, very impressive. Now, I couldn't help but notice Pharrell.
Yeah.
I see you're a NMD Pharrell fan.
Specifically, I don't really like NMDs, but the Pharrell NMDs are made with like a stretchy material that's really super comfortable and flexible. So it was a no-brainer after the first collection. Every time they dropped, they were just more crazy each time, and I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, great colorways.
Yeah, amazing colorways.
So there you have it, an amazing collection. One of the best collections I've ever seen, not just in the Middle East, but worldwide. The Dunks, the Air Maxes, the Yeezys, the PEs, one of ones. My brother, it was a pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. OTB, Walk the Walk, Footlocker. See you soon.
Peace out.